What's going on, everyone? Matt Everett here with Lethal Garage, and today is the Lethal Camaro's physical. You gonna ask her to lean over and cough?
I hope she doesn't cough.
No, but in all seriousness, today is the Lethal checkup. So one of the big things is I have had my stock axles back in the car because we took the DSS ones off way back when I broke the Driveshaft. That was a long time ago. I took forever to ship them to Driveshaft shop, finally shipped them. They did find an issue with one. They rebuilt that one, and I said, you know what, the other one's there. Go ahead and rebuild that one too. So they did charge me a little bit of money for that. It wasn't too much, but it was mainly just me saying, just rebuild it, whatever. So we got those back. They're here. Well, there's one. Mike took the other one. But we're gonna slide those in, and then also, I don't know, there's a weird noise coming from below my glove box. When I start the car, it sounds like popcorn. That's probably the closest thing I can think of sound-wise. So we're gonna get into the car, we're gonna check it out. Being the sound coming from where it's at, it's not the transmission, but we think it could be the transmission. And it's about time to flush it anyway, so we're gonna flush the fluid. I got my AMSOIL. Automatic trans fluid. I'm a dealer, so if you guys need fluid or oil or anything like that, hit me up. It's not too bad. I think it's about $9 something per quart. The dealership wants to charge you about $17 a quart for their stuff. So, and this stuff I believe is better. I've been running this in my transmission, making probably pretty dang close to 1,000 crank horsepower, and the car has been surviving. I think that's pretty good testament on the stock transmission taking upwards are pretty dang close to 1,000 crank horsepower. So yeah, we're gonna drop the pan. We're gonna see if we see anything weird. The car's shifting fine. I'm not seeing any issues whatsoever. The motor's running great, no problems there. We still have the race car tune on the car, so she just wants to party no matter where we go. But we want to take a closer look at the transmission just to make sure something's not starting to happen. So like I said, it's been shifting fine and all that stuff, but the noise coming from just below like the armrest area has us concerned. So we're gonna check out like the bolts and everything, just make sure everything's tight and looking good. Yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna leave it up to Mike. Maybe we'll get the camera on Mike when we're under the car and be like, what are you looking at right now, Dr. Mechanic? And he'll be like, mind your own business. Let's get to it. Man, these got rusty. I probably in hindsight should have painted these before putting them on the car. But when I got them ceramic coated, basically the car finally got washed and they got rusty, and I gotta fix that. So I'll probably clean them up, tape them off, make them black. But man, these Willwood pads, they dust like crazy. Another thing I noticed is the tire is rubbing the liner and ate right through it. Same spot on both sides. So it's probably at high speed. Maybe when my car was lowered, I don't know if it's still rubbing because it definitely looks like it's older, not fresh. But yeah, so we already pulled the big bolt off of the rear axles. Now we gotta get up underneath and get those bolts up in here loosened so we can get the axles out. We think we have to pull the exhaust to get them out. I don't remember exactly how we did this, but we'll find out. A little bit of Scotch-Brite just on this top edge. Made it look shiny again. So we'll Scotch-Brite the heck out of this thing. Maybe I'll do a separate video. I'm sure other people have these problems. But you can also see how far up the rust went because that's where the pad doesn't touch. So Mike told me a good way to deal with this is clean it all up and then just paint the whole thing and don't worry about the paint going there, because then the paint will cover all of that area and then the brake pad will clear off the rest. I might try that, see what happens. Well, I think we found our first problem. Now keep in mind, we torque these bolts to spec. Now, obviously, race car life, you're supposed to check your drive shaft and your axles. I've been checking these anytime we go to race day. We check all these bolts. But I didn't check these ones, and this one's living on a thread. Like literally, I came down here, I was like, oh, that's not supposed to be that way. And this one is loose, so we gotta tighten that up. So we'll crank these all down, get them properly spec'd. We'll check the ones up front, but that's just the first problem we found. Okay, we've gotten to a point now. We got the drive shaft shop axle on the passenger side. We got the driver's side in. We just got to torque down these bolts with Loctite, and we're in a good position. So next we're gonna move forward and see what's going on up front and see if we can find any other issues. Okay guys, we got Mike under the car. He is checking out the bolts. We just checked the front bolts on the drive shaft and they're perfectly fine. They're still all tightened up, torqued to the spec they were at last time, so 9 million inch pounds.
No, it's Newton meter.
Newton meters.
Yeah.
Why not NASCAR meters?
NASCAR meters.
So you could see Stainless Works, when they ship their exhaust, they give you spacers. So if you have basically the stock cross member. In my instance, I have the BMR cross member right there. But they give you spacers because they know their slip fit will vibrate over time and sag. And we never put the spacers on, but it's slipping up there. So Mike has an idea, because there's basically the X-pipe area we never remove anymore. We usually take it from the, what's the forward section?
The header collector?
The collector back, and then we break them from this side. So we might just tack weld the clamps, which we get them in place so they don't shift down in the vibrations. As you guys know, the bolts in my garage vibrate out of the garage door, so we're getting the same kind of issue with the slip fit setup. Just so much power and vibration. It's the small problems, right? It sucks. Car's still slow and we're still having problems like this. Huge shout out to Maple Fed, who just hooked us up with peach shakes. This is not an ad, but Chick-fil-A. Peach shake in the summer. Do it. On the bright side, we got the whole backside buttoned up, exhaust backed in, everything tightened up. Now we gotta go do the transpan. I said that earlier, but there was still some work to do. I lied. Milkshake. So we're at the point where we're gonna pull the transpan. We're gonna see where the...
Oh yeah! That's the
Suzanne Summers of mechanics. So we're gonna pull the transpan. We have no idea. I'm sure the sun's just blowing me out right now. We have no idea what the color of the trans fluid's gonna be. We don't know if there's gonna be glitter in there. We don't know nothing, but we're gonna pull the transpan. We're gonna find out. And like I mentioned earlier, we have our new transmission oil. But we're gonna go under and we're gonna find out. What color do you think it's gonna be, Maple?
You oiling up your transmission?
We're gonna oil it up. What do you think? Brown? Is it still gonna be red?
No.
No, he's going no red. Mike, what do you think? No red, red?
Oh, it's gonna be brown glittery.
Don't say that.
It's gonna be like metallic brown poo.
Brown?
It's gonna have glitter.
Yeah.
Stop!
Kind of like a
Spoon
blue beer.
fingers. We're gonna find out the color. Is it a boy or a girl?
It's a kegel. It's a kegel? Kegel.
Maybe we should put a stand on that side. Oh, that's actually red.
It is.
My trans fluid looks pretty.
Is it glittery?
It doesn't, I mean, it's hard to tell, but it doesn't look glittery.
That doesn't look bad at all.
Yeah. And it's nice and thick. Let's see if we can get color. You can see the color in there, guys, yeah? It's red.
Dude, where's the O-ring at? Oh, that's right.
Remember?
Yeah, and then we rigged this up.
We rigged it because Paradise did it wrong.
There's no metal flakes in this.
That's good.
That's just like brand new.
No, I think it's more than 2,000. I think I'm lying. Probably like 5 or 6.
I think for sure this is just yeah.
We're good?
Yeah, we're good. I wouldn't even worry about that.
So we're actually really happy with the color that came out. No metal flakes or anything like that. As you heard us mention, so Paradise changed my transmission fluid a while ago. It cost a lot of money going through the dealership. And when they did it, they didn't put the O-ring on the bolt. And when that happened, I got home and I parked my car and I came back the next day and half of my transmission fluid was puddled on the floor in my garage. Not good. Good thing I had a carpet in there. The carpet's now trash because you can't really get transmission fluid out of an old carpet. But that being stated, we put AMSOIL transmission fluid in it. It's been running, I want to say, now that we're thinking about it, probably 5,000-6,000 miles since that time. But that being stated, that transmission fluid is nice and pink. It's looking good. So no sparkly, so that's good. This transmission's holding its ground. We didn't think it was a transmission making the weird noises that I was talking about anyways. And now that we saw that the exhaust was sitting on the cross member, we saw the loose bolts on the drive shaft, I'm starting to think it was washers and vibrations. So we'll find out once we pump a quart of trans fluid back into the car. We'll let her down, we'll start her up, see if that same noise is happening. So that's where we're at, and it's basically good news. So. I hear no popping. So the popping noise normally was coming from right about here, straight down obviously, but I hear nothing. So it must have been vibrations in those bolts or on the cross member. That makes me feel a lot better knowing that we resolved that problem. Well, Mike, she's good. It's good. We thought something was bad. You even thought the trans fluid was going to be toast.
Yeah, it usually is.
It wasn't though. So I don't beat on it as hard as you think I do, or I beat on it and the AMS oil is holding up really well.
It's a combination of several things, but I think maintenance is key to it.
I mean, I do change my fluids and oils a lot.
Yeah, as long as you're doing that, you'll always be fine.
Yeah, so there you have it, guys. Maintenance, checkup, doctor's appointment completed. She coughed a few times, but it's looking good. I was definitely thinking something might be wrong with the transmission. It was shifting fine, so I don't know why I thought that, but whatever. It is what it is. I was sad to see the bolts on the drive shaft getting loose. That's my fault for not checking those. I was checking the axle bolts, but I didn't even think to recheck the drive shaft bolts. That was my fault. The front ones were fine. The rear ones got loose, so we torqued those down. We're good to go there. We got the DSS axles back in the car, so that's good. Even though I made my fastest pass literally on stock axles, so that's cool. But I didn't do any wheel hopping, and the track wasn't prepped, so it will be a different story on a much stickier surface, and the car is going to react totally different. So next step is go racing. Now that we know nothing's really broken on the car, we can go racing and try to break it. Don't say that.
We're gonna break it.
We're gonna break it. We're gonna break timing records for Lethal, not for anybody else out there that's ran fast times maybe yet. But yeah, let's get some faster times because I want to go racing. It's been a while. It feels like it's been a while. It has been a while. It's been 2.5 months.
Has it been 2.5 months?
Yeah. Well, wasn't it end of, when was Battle of Bow Ties? End of March? Or was it end of April?
Yeah.
I'm confused. I don't even know anymore, guys. But thanks for checking out the content. If you guys got questions, comments, concerns, post them down below. Hit that subscribe button for more content. I'm going to have a drive with me video coming here this Saturday. I was going to do it this weekend, but it was raining this morning, and I didn't want to take the car out, so that kind of ruined that plan. But basically all 6th gen content this week, I promise. So, yeah. Thanks, Mike.
Maybe a 1st gen.
And if you guys need car work, Red Barn Racing.
I do work.
Sometimes.